Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gives you brutal battles, beautiful medieval landscapes, and even some romance. That's right, Henry isn't just fighting off his enemies, he's pursuing romantic relationships, even some very questionable ones at that. Today I'm gonna rank the 5 major romance options from worst to best using my romance ranking criteria. Some of these romances are sweet, some are a bit shallow, and one is honestly straight up chaos. Some quick ground rules before we dive in. I'm focusing on the romances that have emotional buildup and require some work or time investment. I'll avoid major spoilers, but I'm going to reference some character arcs here, so please consider this your spoiler warning. I'm ranking each romance with 3 criteria worth up to 5 points each for a total of 15 points possible. Character depth: does the character feel like a real person with flaws, motivations, and a personality outside of the romance? Emotional depth: does the romance feel meaningful and deep, or is it purely surface level? And relationship pacing: does the relationship develop naturally? Alright, with that out of the way, let's start at the bottom. Up first, we have Margaret, who is easily Henry's weakest romance option. Margaret is a career criminal and a con woman who Henry can encounter in Kuttenberg.
Who are you?
Can't you see? I'm from the mill. I'm the miller's wife.
For character depth, I gave Margaret a 3 out of 5. The interesting thing about Margaret is that we never really get to know the true, real her. She's a liar and a manipulator, and the game is definitely not subtle about letting you know that. If you're playing as a Henry who is very chaotic, she might feel like a potential partner in crime, but the game honestly spends more time showing you what a just walking red flag she is, rather than fleshing her out as a potential partner. For emotional depth, I gave this romance a 2 out of 5. This relationship is built on a foundation of chaos and lies. They don't share very many, if any, genuine deep moments together. If you're looking for a satisfying, layered romance arc, this is not it. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 2 out of 5. To develop a relationship with Margaret, Henry has to follow her no matter what scheme she's running. No matter how wild her stories get, what she's asking him to do, he's gotta roll with it. I won't spoil the outcome, but I have a feeling most players who followed through with this romance path walked away at the end saying, yeah, I should have known that was coming. Overall, I gave this romance a 7 out of 15. It's fun and entertaining for the drama, but that's about it. Next, we're going to talk about Klara, a healer who Henry can encounter at Nebekov Fortress. For character depth, I gave Klara a 3 out of 5. You'll meet Klara early on in the game, and things get physical pretty fast between her and Henry, meaning there's not a lot of time to really get to know her first. On top of that, her initial interest in Henry might have been less than genuine, which will definitely upset some players.
Came with that Lord of Lipa, didn't you? Won't you even tell me your name?
While we do get brief moments of depth that give us a peek into Klara as a character, it just never fully develops. For the emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 3 out of 5. There is some conversation, some sharing of backstories, but this relationship never digs very deep, especially when compared to the emotional weight of Hans and Katherine. This feels very light. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 3 out of 5. This relationship starts out quickly and it ends just as abruptly. There's not a sense of long-term growth or connection. It's more like we had a moment and then the story progresses. Overall, I gave this romance a 9 out of 15. It's a decent, short-lived romance. Let's move on and talk about Rosa Ruthard, a young noblewoman who Henry can encounter in Kuttenberg. For character depth, I gave Rosa a 3 out of 5. She's intelligent, adventurous, and clearly enjoys intellectual conversations.
That's a really cunning solution. No random fool would ever find it.
That was exactly my intention when I thought it up. Thanks, Henry.
But she's a noble who's gotten very used to getting what she wants, and she can feel entitled and selfish at times. On top of that, she doesn't really grow as a character. What you see with her at the start is basically what you get all the way through. The emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Rosa and Henry have really different backgrounds, and this has an impact on their relationship considering the time period that the game is set. Though Rosa shows interest in Henry, she doesn't put a ton of effort into understanding him and his background. background. A lot of the time it feels like Henry is just trying to impress her rather than the two meeting in the middle and building a real connection. It's not a great foundation for something long term. Maybe that's because they both know that this can't be a long-term thing. I'm not really certain. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 3 out of 5. The flirting ramps up, the two physically connect, and just when you feel like maybe the relationship is going somewhere, it sort of just stops. At moments, this romance feels like it was meant to be a more serious path, but it plays out differently for sure. Overall, I gave this romance a 9 out of 15. At times, it's very energetic and entertaining. I can see why players seem to really like Rosa, but there are definitely some downsides to the overall romance. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. Let's talk about Katherine. Katherine is a skilled spy who is an associate of Henry throughout the plot of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. For character depth, I gave Katherine a 5 out of 5. Katherine is one of the most layered characters in the game. On the surface, she's competent, confident, and wise beyond her years.
We women have it in our blood.
What? Spying?
No, you rogue. Knowing how to listen. And also how to size people up.
But a close friendship or romance with her really reveals how much tragedy she's carrying. Her work and her choices now are guided by the losses that she's experienced. She feels real and she feels complicated. For the emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Katherine and Henry share similar traumatic experiences. They've both been through violent loss. They understand each other's pain and support each other in ways that other romances on this list don't even touch. By the end of the game, it really feels like they could genuinely help each other turn a new page and look forward to something in the future. For the pacing of this relationship, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Katherine and Henry's romance is a slow build with romantic tension sprinkled in. The world around them is a mess. There's war, rebellion, danger around every corner, so it makes sense that romance isn't always front and center for them. Some of their lines can be a bit awkward and cheesy, but as they drop their guard, it does feel more and more natural. Overall, I gave this romance a 14 out of 15. More than previous relationships on this list, Katherine's romance feels grounded, very mature, as well as emotionally satisfying. And finally, we have Hans Capon, a young nobleman and Henry's close companion throughout Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. For character depth, I gave Hans a 5 out of 5. Hans definitely benefits from being a returning character when it comes to his character development and growth. We already know that he can be arrogant and a bit of a menace.
I can't work. I'm a noble. What if someone saw me?
But in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, we continue to see the multiple sides to his character. He's funny, he's vulnerable, he's very thoughtful, and completely capable of growth. He owns up to his mistakes in a world where most nobles would absolutely never consider it. For the emotional depth of this romance, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Underneath the banter, jokes, and teasing of their friendship, there are some really heartfelt moments between Henry and Hans. There's so much history there. Shared experiences from the first game and new memories from this one that give their connection a lot of weight and depth. When stuff starts to hit the fan, it hits extra hard because of how well we know Hans, how much we've seen him grow, and everything he and Henry have been through. For the pacing of this romance, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Their romance feels like a natural extension of their friendship.
No need to thank me.
I beg to disagree. My brave and faithful companion.
Their playful back and forth naturally evolves into something more. It can feel a little bit stop and start because of the amount of time that they spend apart during the game, but when they finally cross that line, it feels very fitting for their relationship, and it's a really tender and special moment. Overall, I gave this romance a 14 out of 15. It feels kind of perfect for both Hans and Henry, honestly, and it's very well done. So in the end, Hans and Katherine are tied at the top with 14 out of 15. One is a very grounded and mature romance, and one gives us a well-written, natural progression from friendship to romance. Who did you romance in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? And which path do you feel is the most, so-called canon for Henry? Let me know in the comments and tell me if you think someone else belongs at the top of this ranking. If you like more content like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.